Second big category, your rights attending a protest. So you've organized, you've got your people together. What are your rights and obligations at a protest? Very first, let me again suggest the pamphlet from the ACLU of the District of Columbia. They also have an excellent webpage for this. It's acludc.org/demonstrate. It has excellent information about knowledge that you need, which law enforcement is which, and your basic rights at a protest. 3 quick points on protest. First, permits. You can be required to get a permit sometimes. If you're not a lawyer, it's pretty difficult to sort out when you do and when you do not need a permit. The easiest thing to do when planning is go try for a permit. Ask if you need a permit. Go apply for one. If they give you any trouble whatsoever, they make it expensive, they tell you you haven't given them enough warning, they tell you you haven't filled out the forms right, anything they say, you come to us. Okay, because they can't make it hard. And we will win that fight every time. But start with the permit process. If you call me up on a Saturday and say, we're going to do a protest at 2 p.m., we've got 60 people and the cops are telling us we can't do it because we didn't get a permit, I'm going to say, well, why didn't you apply for a permit? Okay, so do it. Apply for one. We'll still fight for you. Either way, we're going to get your protest to happen. But it's a simple step and you should always take it. Second, videotaping at a protest. You should know you have a right to record what's happening. You have a right to record the police. You got to remember 3 things about that, though. You've got to be a reasonable distance from what's happening. If you are recording an arrest or some police action and you have your phone and you're like this, right? That's not okay, right? You can't be up in the officer's face. But if you're 10 feet away, that's fine. Okay, a reasonable distance away, given the circumstances. Second, make sure you're not the one being arrested. Okay. As much as we would all like to record our own arrests, it's troublesome to be arrested and be trying to record it with your phone. So record somebody else's arrest, right? And third, this really applies in public, okay? It's one thing to record something that's happening in a public place. It's another thing to record something that's private. If it involves cops, it's almost always going to be public, even if it's in a house. And so we're talking about your rights to record cops or in public. As long as you meet those 3 things, it's your right to record, and if somebody tells you otherwise, don't comply until it's an order. All right? Third important thing to know about protests, and to tell other people, right? Your job as an activist is not just to use this information, but to pass it along. You should make an arrest plan. Sometimes people get arrested at protests, right? If protests, part of it turns violent, or the police just decide that they're going to shut it down, arrests can happen. You should plan ahead for that. You should make an arrest plan. An arrest plan is, what am I going to do if tonight I'm spending the night in the jailhouse? Who's going to feed my cat? Right? Where am I going to get the $100 to bail myself out? Who's going to take care of my kids tonight? You should make that plan in advance. And you should tell people who are organizing protests and who you're leading as activists that they should make arrest plans too. It's a simple point, but it actually makes lives much, much easier to sort that out before rather than after. And the most important thing about an arrest plan is that there should be one point of contact who can then tell everybody else what they need to do. Okay, so an arrest plan is basically a phone number. You call that person and they will activate the cat feeder, and they will activate the babysitter, and they will activate the $200 bail.